All right, so today we're going to be doing a little buy this, not that. Almost always in real life when someone tells me that they bought something like a makeup item, I'm like, okay, but have you tried this? I just hate seeing people waste their money on stuff, especially when you don't necessarily need to spend $40 on a makeup product. Sometimes there's a $5 product that is just better. So this is kind of like the video version of that. Hopefully this will save you some money, kind of guide you in the right direction of things that are worth checking out. Some of these actually aren't dupes. I kind of consider dupes cheaper alternatives to high-end products. And a couple of these are still high-end or like around the same price point as the other product. It's just a better option. So I'm not calling like all of these dupes. These are kind of just better alternatives to the products that I'm going to mention, but most of them are dupes. Like most of them are cheaper. So let me know if you guys enjoy this video and you want to see more of these. I also could do a separate one for Foundation Friday. I'm not including any foundations in this video because I started to, and then I had like 6 foundations. So let me know if you want to see a separate Foundation Friday on this. And I'm wearing a lot of the products I'm going to be talking about on my face today, so you can actually see how they look on as well. But I hope you guys enjoy this video and find it helpful. If you do while you're watching, you can give it a thumbs up. I really do appreciate it. If you're new here, I upload every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 6 p.m. Pacific time. All right, let's get into the video. Get your beverage of choice. We're going to talk about some dupes. Okay, let's start out with a dupe for Charlotte Tilbury product. This is the Wonder Glow Instant Soft Focus Beauty Flash. You guys, this product is $55. The 2 products I'm going to show you are under $11. So this is supposed to give the skin an instant soft focus spotlight effect. And I actually have 2 dupes for this that are so much cheaper and I like so much better than the Charlotte Tilbury product itself. The Essence Fresh Fit and Awake Primer. I'm actually completely out of this. This is an empty. And then the Milani Soft Focus Glow. Both of these are from the drugstore. These are basically glowy primers or just products that you can use on their own or underneath foundation that give the most beautiful, like plumping, dewy kind of look. I don't think these are going to make your makeup stay on longer, so I don't know if I would necessarily call them like primers, but they are just very luminous, beautiful, radiant kind of products that I think look better on the skin than the Charlotte Tilbury one. My all-time favorite is the Essence one. Here's the Charlotte Tilbury. Like, I don't know, man. I don't see a whole lot happening. Let me see if I can squeeze anything out of the Essence, but I looked online and I am really crossing my fingers this is not the case, but it seems like, at least in the US, I can't find this anywhere anymore. I'm really hoping they're not discontinuing this. Another one bites the dust. Why are literally all my favorite products discontinued? Ooh, I got a little bit out. Even there, like you can see, gives such a beautiful glow. I love wearing this on no makeup days or underneath more like matte foundations. It looks super pretty in the summer too, just if you want to add a really pretty luminosity to your skin. The Milani one is definitely still available, so this one is not discontinued. And this one I do also really enjoy. It has a little bit more of like a golden color to it, so if you're around my skin tone and you just want one to wear alone, you know, this one does add a little bit more of a tan, but if you're wearing it underneath foundation, your foundation should kind of cover it, but the glow does still come through. Every year Too Faced comes out with their fall kind of eyeshadow palettes, and I was looking at this year's and I was like, this looks so friggin' similar to last year's fall palette. So this year's is the pumpkin spice palette, last year's was the gingerbread spice palette. And let me just show you these side by side. By the way, I'm pre-filming this, so I don't know if anyone's called this out already at this point, but look at this. Well, we'll see if this is still in one piece. Good thing this isn't a friggin' metal tin. Wow, yeah, it is. Okay, well, that's good. So we have pumpkin spice right here and then ginger spice on the other side. So as you can see, the colors are pretty similar in these. I don't feel like you need both of these. Let me just show you back here. I feel like you can kind of get a better idea. I definitely added a couple different shades. Like this one has a couple purples in it. But just if you're going for these kind of colors, I have a drugstore palette option for you. So if you want kind of the similar fall vibes from those two Too Faced palettes, NYX Escape Artist palettes, what I have on my eyes right now. I feel like I haven't talked about this palette enough, but since I discovered it, maybe like 4 months ago or so, I've been using it a ton and it is awesome quality. The formula of these are beautiful. You definitely need a primer underneath, so use some kind of like, you know, kind of more gripping primer. I use the MAC Paint Pot. These blend out so beautifully. I love the kind of mustardy tones in this section. And then you have some really nice warm browns. You get 40 eyeshadows in this palette. In this one you get 18, so you get over double the amount of shadows. It is $35, so it is cheaper. It's not significantly cheaper, but you do get double the amount of shadows, so you do get definitely you know, way more bang for your buck out of this one. And you can usually get NYX on sale as well. For my lid shade today, I put in this yellow as the base, and then I wet my brush and went in with that gold shade and just put it on the lid with a brush. Brow pencils specifically, I feel like are an area where you definitely don't need to spend a ton of money on a brow pencil. A few years ago, I do feel like Benefit Precisely My Brow was like the best brow pencil. It was kind of one of the first micro brow pencils, Anastasia. There were a couple high-end brow pencils where it was like they were kind of the only ones doing it right. But now there are so many more options out there and drugstore options that you really don't need to spend high-end price point to get an amazing brow pencil. You just don't. I'm going to do a whole video on the best drugstore brow pencils because I literally have about 10 that I could mention here, but I'm just going to point out a couple that I've been reaching for most often. One of them I'm wearing right now. The one I've been reaching for most often lately, mostly because of both the formula, the tip on here, and the shade specifically, is the Milani Precision Brow in the shade 140 Medium Brown. I love the shade of this. For me, it's not too dark, but I also just find that this is super long lasting and it has the perfect super fine tip. It's not too smooth, just the right amount of waxiness to it. I'm wearing this in combination with another brow product that I'll tell you about in a minute. I like to use this for the front of my brows specifically, and it's just a great drugstore brow pencil. It's not angled or anything. It's not anything fancy. It's just super fine and it has a really nice formula. Love the e.l.f. one too. Like I said, I could literally mention 10 other ones, but another one I've been reaching for a lot is the LA Girl Shady Slim Brow Pencil in the shade Blackest Brown. I actually think I have a lighter one I've been reaching for. I have so many brow pencils in this cup over here that I kind of just pull out whichever one and use it that day and hope it's the right shade. But this one, same kind of situation to the Milani, but I think I prefer the Milani formula a little bit better. This one's a little bit more creamy than the Milani. The Milani is a little bit more waxy, so I think it just depends on what you prefer. But yeah, I just don't think you need to buy like Hourglass or Anastasia Benefit anymore. They're not bad products at all. Like, they're great and I would totally use these, and I do still use them and I do still recommend them if for some reason you want to spend more money on it or whatever. But these are just as good, if not better. Like, I would rather reach for the Milani over these. I have quite a few brow products here. This is one though where the high-end version is better. I do think you should buy the high-end version over the drugstore version. I actually tried this in a first impressions video this month, but this is the Benefit Brow Micro Filling Pen. This is a new product from them. And then the L'Oreal Micro Ink Pen. So this is the one I would say don't buy, is the L'Oreal one. I never quite know how to describe these in the best way, but basically if you're looking for the brush stroke kind of look, these are basically supposed to be like easier to use than single stroke kind of pens because they are basically like little forks, so they give you 3 strokes at one time. The only thing is, apparently, it is difficult for brands to nail this because I've tried a few of these, like the L'Oreal ones, and the angle is always very off. Like, it's very hard for them to get the angle right, apparently. And just like the product and the tip and everything, a lot of time they're way too fat, like the L'Oreal one where you just don't get actual brush stroke. It just turns into like one giant stroke. Benefit is the first one who's actually nailed it, and the formula is nice, the color is nice. I use the shade medium brown. I like using it in the front specifically, and I do like these. So if you've been wanting a pen like this, I do think this one is worth the money. It's the only one I've found like this that actually does the job and works well. So for a while when Tarte Shape Tape launched, it was kind of known as like the best full coverage concealer, and for a while I think it was the most full coverage concealer on the market, or at least the most well-known one. But now I just think there are so many other amazing full coverage concealers out there, and ones from the drugstore. There are a handful of amazing full coverage concealers that are very comparable to Tarte Shape Tape that I just don't think you need to spend the money on this. And I just don't think the formula of this is as great as, I don't know if it was just like an illusion, like we all just thought that this was amazing because we didn't have as many to compare it to back then, like a few years ago, or what. Maybe it's just my under eyes now, but I think I've heard like a lot of people saying that Tarte Shape Tape just isn't as great as they used to think it was. Like, it just looks too dry on the under eyes now, and that's how I feel about it. It just looks very dry and almost like cakey on my under eyes now, and I much prefer the CoverGirl True Blend Undercover Concealer. I use the shade L150 Porcelain. You need a drop of this, which is why I love it. You literally need a dot, and it is complete full coverage. I like blending it out with a brush from the drugstore, way more affordable than Tarte Shape Tape, and you get the same amount of product. Even if you still love Tarte Shape Tape, it could be worth just trying the CoverGirl one out, and if you end up falling in love with it, it'll save you a ton of money in the long run than repurchasing the Tarte Shape Tape. I wanted to mention this alternative because I feel like as far as these kind of sponges are concerned, Juno & Co. is kind of like the most well-known, and I think they started this kind of trend, the like microfiber powder kind of sponge. And this is the Juno & Co. one. I love this sponge. I use it every single day. It was clean before I filmed this, and I realized I needed to use it today to do my under eye powder. So now it's dirty. But this is the Shop Miss A sponge. It's $1.55. The Juno & Co. one I think is only around like $7, so it's not like a huge price difference, but the performance is totally different. I love the Shop Miss A one because it is super squishy and soft. The Juno & Co. one is much more firm, and also just look at the difference in, why is this hand like shaking? Okay, look at the difference in surface area. You get way more space on the Shop Miss A one, and I just find that this applies my under eye powder so smooth and flawlessly. I just swirl it in my powder, press it on, and it gives me great coverage. It looks really nice and smooth and soft, and I was kind of thinking like for $1.55 this one might wear out quickly, but I've had this same sponge for months now. I wash it. It hasn't like broken down or anything now. I have a few on backup just in case they decide to stop making this, and I haven't had to dip into my stash yet. You can also use it for your face powder too. Just press on your face powder. So I really like this. If you've been debating trying the Juno & Co. one, I would say definitely go with the Shop Miss A one. Next up, I have an alternative for I feel very hyped up brow product. This is the Glossier Brow Flick. I feel like I'm always shitting on Glossier, and it's not an intentional thing. I just feel like so many of their products are so overhyped. I do like a handful of Glossier products. I probably have like 5 Glossier products I have grown to love. This is just not one of them. I just feel like it's so overhyped, and I have a product that I love so much more and I've been using every single day. I have it on my brows right now. It's the Urban Decay Brow Blade in the shade Dark Drapes. You get a pencil tip on one side that's retractable, and then you get a pen on the other side. And I've been using this for a few months in a row now, probably 2 or 3 months in a row now, and it still is going strong. Like the pen hasn't run out yet. So any of the videos, if you look back, where I've been doing like the kind of wispier looking brows, brush hair looking brows, I've been using this with the combination of a brow pencil. Lately it's been the Milani one, like I said. But the reason why I prefer this Urban Decay Brow Blade over the Glossier Brow Flick is for a few different reasons. The Glossier seems to almost stop working. I've tried to use this about 5 to 7 times, so it's not just like a one-off experience, but I'll go in and it's like working at the beginning, and then when I get to like the middle of my brow, it kind of just stops almost working. And in the Glossier video, a few of you guys in the comments said that that happens to you too. The other thing I don't like about this one, and it could just be my, skill and application or whatever, is that I can't get as fine of brush strokes as I can with the Urban Decay Brow Blade. I just haven't been able to get it to look the way I like it to look. And with the Brow Blade, I literally can not be thinking and it turns out good. It actually turns out better when I'm like not really concentrating on it, and that's kind of my strategy. I 100% will be repurchasing this brow product when it runs out, and that's saying a lot because I have a whole bin of brow products and brow pencils that I need to go through, but I feel like this is like to the point where I can't live without this brow pen at this point, and this one I just think is a little bit overhyped. All right, next up I have a dupe for the Tom Ford Eye Defining Pen. Do you even want to know how much this pen costs? $59, folks. $59 for an eyeliner. So you do get 2 ends. One is bigger and then one is a little bit thinner. So I guess, it's kind of like a 2-in-1. But the reason why I wanted to try this one is because it is a brush tip. I much prefer brush tip eyeliners over felt tip. I get such a smoother line with them. It's easier to create a wing. If you've never tried a brush tip eyeliner and you have trouble with creating wings, try it out. Felt tip can kind of create that like drag, and I just find it to be so much more difficult. However, this thing is so overpriced, and you can find just as good of an eyeliner for literally $3 on YesStyle. Or if you don't want to order online, you just want to go in the drugstore, I also have a second dupe for you. So the one that you can just get in the drugstore is the Physicians Formula Eye Booster in Ultra Black. This is the waterproof version. For years I was using just their normal eye booster. Now that they make the waterproof version, definitely get the waterproof one. It stays on so much better. I still love this one and recommend it, but you guys, for the last, I don't even know, I think like 5 months. This one has crept up as number one. This is the McQueen New York waterproof pen liner. You can get this off YesStyle. It's around $3 when you get it on sale. This is my number one now because it stays on and looks super black the entire day. I don't have any issues creating wings with either of these. They have a fine point, and you know, for the price difference and just how long lasting these are, you definitely don't need to spend $59 on something like this. Even $30, like, you just don't need to do it when there are eyeliners like this out there. All right, I wanted to mention this comparison because I feel like this is one of the most popular high-end mascaras, the Lancome Monsieur Big, and I've been testing it for the last few months, kind of more hardcore than in the past. I don't not like this one. I just feel like I still love the Essence mascara so much better, and it's $3 versus $25. I'm wearing this one today. I love the volume one, which is this one, and the one in the teal packaging. I'll leave both of them linked down below. That one is in my empties right now. I need to repurchase it, but I'm first trying to use up this one because I have 5 million mascaras to go through. So I'm just trying to go through my stash before I rebuy things. But if you like the idea of this mascara, which is like, you know, big volume, drama, that kind of thing, I think you would really enjoy the Essence mascaras. I actually get more volume with this mascara than I do with the Lancome one. And I actually find the Lancome one to be a little bit too wet of a formula, and it can sometimes kind of like flake off on me. Let me know if anyone else has experienced that with this formula. And then last up is a dupe that I mentioned in my current foundation routine video if you missed that, but have a dupe for the Hourglass. Oh my god, I'm dropping things left and right today. The Hourglass Veil Soft Focus Setting Spray. You can save the money and get the Collab Grand Finale 3-in-1 Hydrating Makeup Setting Mist. So the Hourglass Setting Spray is actually pretty unique. Not just the mister, which is like unreal, it's super fine, but the formula of this does almost give this like just very soft satin veil, like a satin finish. I don't want to spray it on right now because I'm doing like a foundation update for another video, but I actually am wearing the Collab one today on the bottom half of my face. But the Collab is basically an exact dupe. It is a very fine mist as well. You can get this from Sally Beauty, and it also gives just a satin finish. Love the mist on here. It is so fine. So if you've been drawn to the Hourglass Veil, you can definitely save some money and get yourself the Collab Grand Finale. So that's everything. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Let me know if you'd want to see this for foundations or if you'd want to see another one of these videos just with other products. I'm gonna have everything linked down below in the description box in case you want to check anything out. I always have my what are these called? Earrings, jewelry, all of that linked down below as well. Wow, I didn't even have one sip of coffee throughout this whole video. What's happening? By the way, the other makeup that I'm wearing that I did not mention, for blush I have on Youngblood Gilt. For bronzer, I used Misha Cotton Contour in Baked Bagel. It's from YesStyle. For lips, I used LA Girl Dreamer. And then topped it off with Hourglass Unreal. I think everything else I told you about. I love you guys. Thanks for watching. See you in my next video.